Well, the first weekend of the GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, did not go well for Rockstar Games. Let's just say that. So on Friday, we reported that Rockstar was actually having a ton of issues with the Rockstar Games launcher. This is affecting guys who purchased the game on PC. Basically, they said services for the Rockstar Games launcher and supported titles like Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, are temporarily offline for maintenance. Services will return as soon as maintenance is completed. With a follow-up, they basically just said, thank you for your patience and understanding as we continue to work on restoring services for the Rockstar Games launcher and supported titles. And up until that point, we didn't know what was going on. Whether it was an outage on Rockstar's end, whether there was something that happened with the games themselves, we did not know. All we did know is that players who purchased this game were suddenly not able to play them at all. They weren't able to download them. They weren't able to play them, even in offline mode, nothing like that. So people literally paid money for these games, couldn't get access to them. Now that was bad enough. Also, these GTA titles also launched with a handful of issues, bugs, glitches. There was just so much wrong with them right out of the gate. So needless to say, it was not a great start for Rockstar. Well, they gave us an update. They said the Rockstar Games launcher is now online. This was on Friday at about 7 o'clock at night. But GTA The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, is unable to play or purchase as we remove files unintentionally included in these versions. We're sorry for the disruption and hope to have the correct ones up soon. Okay, so as Rockstar made that announcement, clearly no one was very happy. The Rockstar Games launcher is now online, but the games we just purchased are unavailable because files we accidentally kept in the game. Now, you might be wondering what those files were. Well, Rockstar kind of had to pull them quickly because it could have got them in serious trouble. So these files included unlicensed music, full game scripts with developer notes, and even files related to the infamous canned San Andreas minigame, Hot Coffee, which, as you guys know, got Rockstar in some serious trouble. So let's run through all those real quick. The unlicensed music from GTA Vice City and San Andreas, Rockstar had to remove a lot of songs from the game. And I think that was a part of music licensing's expires, Rockstar not being able to work with the artists that they worked on these titles nearly 20 years ago, and so their music could not be added into the game. However, instead of just removing it altogether, they sort of just like blacklisted it. Now, I am not a game developer, but essentially what happens is you still have all the music in the game, yet instead of removing it, Rockstar just put a little script in that said, don't play these songs. So technically, they are still in the game, and on PC, you can access them. So obviously, from Rockstar's point of view, that's not good. Now, they also have full game scripts with developer notes. So what this means is, as the developers were making the game, they were writing down notes about how this mission should go, or what this character should say, or what should happen when you do X, Y, and Z. And that's obviously not the polished final version. And those might be like private conversations or just notes that developers did not want to be put out into the world. Think of it like a rough draft for a project. You might just sort of be jotting down bullet points, or you might write down something silly that you never intend to make its way into the final version of the game. Well, they did, which is rather unfortunate for those developers, and so Rockstar wanted to get rid of them. And on top of it, this collection code contains an uncompiled version of the main SCM file, which contains all the game scripts for GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, including cut and missing content, as well as notes from Rockstar North staff from that era. So obviously something they do not want out in the wild. And probably the worst of the bunch, and I don't know how Rockstar forgot to do this, they literally kept the infamous San Andreas sex minigame, Hot Coffee, in the files. Like, how can you forget to do that? That is really bad. So remember that infamous Hot Coffee minigame in San Andreas ended up costing Take-Two Interactive more than $20 million in legal fees. And it basically gave them a black eye as far as video game developers. Like, how could you leave that in the game? Remember, GTA San Andreas had to be like removed from shelves on stores. It was unable to be purchased until Rockstar ended up fixing this. Remember that it was an inaccessible minigame in San Andreas that allowed you to basically get a little bit more R-rated with an in-game girlfriend of their choosing. The company also faced a torrent of legal attacks, including a lawsuit by the city of Los Angeles accusing the company of failing to disclose the game's content. And again, in 2019, they settled for a lawsuit of just over $20 million. So I don't know why they decided to leave it into the game. That's obviously not good, though. But that was the reason, at least that's what they're saying publicly, for removing these titles. Now, just about when I'm recording this video, 14, 15, 16 hours ago, Rockstar support said this: Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the Definitive Edition, is again available through the Rockstar Games launcher for play and purchase. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience and are working to improve and update overall performance as we move forward. So now the PC guys finally on the Rockstar Games launcher are able to get the game downloaded or install the new version because they were updated and those files were removed. Now, that's not the only thing that Rockstar ended up doing with that update. As you guys know, there were hundreds of bugs, glitches, errors, things that were just not good, like misspelled billboards. That's so random and so weird. It seems like Rockstar actually took this opportunity to make a lot of those fixes as well. So even though it did take them a couple of days, players are reporting that issues in Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas seem to be fixed. Now, we actually don't have a patch notes on what they actually did, but a lot of people are reporting that there are a handful of bugs that were just making the game unplayable. Those have been fixed. But overall, it has not been a great start for Rockstar and Grove Street Games. You have a community that really wants a refund, that weren't able to play on the first available weekend of the titles being available. And you then have another part of the community that's just downright disappointed in either A, how the games look, how they play, how they perform, certain aspects of it. And I don't think Rockstar handled this well at all. I would have recommended that they would have given everyone a refund, and then when the games became available to purchase again, they gave them the opportunity to buy the game back. Instead, what they did is they just locked everyone who paid out for like 2.5 days on the very first weekend, which I don't think is fair at all. Now, if you guys have the game on PC, I will leave a link in the description. You can use the Rockstar support to get a refund, but I would actually recommend another site as well. So when you buy the game through the Rockstar Games launcher, you go through a program called, I think it's Xzola. I'll leave a link to their site in the description. It is a lot easier to request a refund there, and it actually will probably allow you to get your money back if that you're just not satisfied with the game at all, or you think it is super unfair what Rockstar did, and now you're just no longer interested in owning these games. You guys can do that. I will leave a link to that in the description. Man, oh man, has it not been a great, really like first 72 hours for Rockstar and Grove Street Games. I mean, that wasn't even the only issue. Remember, the PlayStation guys basically got it a day early because it started unlocking when it hit midnight their time locally instead of at the global release time of 10 a.m. EST. So, man, oh man, this has not been good for Rockstar. Hopefully, as we are going into week number 2 here, they start to iron and smooth things out a little bit, but it has just been a disaster, let me tell you that. So many issues, so many bugs, leaving stuff in the files. I mean, it seems like they rushed to get this out. And I know people are upset with delays, but I think this is the reason why delays happen, so that they can avoid these critical errors and mistakes just like this. But anyways, that is all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. I would love to hear from you guys, though, in those comments down below. What has been your first 3 or 4 day experience of the GTA Trilogy, the Definitive Edition? I'd love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.